welcome to By Nature TV.
Yes, I'm Shahar.
And I'm Nash, and we're a mother-daughter team.
Yes, in today's episode from Colorado.
Yes, Colorado, beautiful Colorado.
We'll be talking about transformation in business. And don't forget that brain-based marketing and nature can nurture your business.
That's right. Enjoy.
Hi, today I'm in Dillon, Colorado. It's a gorgeous place, and we arrived here after 3 days in an event where we were speakers. You know, after 3 days inside the room, you do need some nature, that's for sure. But what I want to talk to you about is something interesting that I see in every single event I go. Of course, there's a mix of businesses and where those businesses are at that moment. A lot of people coming into business, and they all get very excited with the events. And you know, of course, in events, people show different solutions and softwares, and they go and they buy those, and then they start thinking about the changes that they are going to do in their business, so it becomes better. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, we do think about what we can change so we'll provide different results. And we should be doing that. But I want to propose a shift in paradigm for you. The reason is this. Let's say I want to change places. Okay, all I have to do is move to the right or move a little bit to the left, and here it is. I changed it. I changed the spot where I was speaking to you, right? But what's wrong with that? Is that in any moment when I feel like it or things are not going well, I can change back to where I was. And many times in business, that's not a good idea. So the shifting paradigm I want to propose to you is, instead of thinking about changes in your business, can you think about transformation? Because see, when I transform something that I'm doing, something in my business, I cannot go back to where it was. So avoids me to like we say, have one foot in each boat, so I can move to whatever I think is the best place to be right now. It really creates a transformation, something new, something that is prettier than before. Okay, so instead of thinking I'm going to change this in my business, think I'm going to transform this in my business. You know, a simple thing to think about nature is, think a butterfly. Isn't she gorgeous after the transformation? So we just left a 3-day event where we spoke at, right?
Yes.
And we were there the whole time. We liked
Had a blast.
Yeah, I had a blast. We interact with people, so we usually stay the 3 days.
Yep.
Right? And it's very interesting to see the dynamics, and I would say even mind-boggling.
Oh, so yes.
So you see a lot of people, a lot of them in this event especially, they were starting out their businesses, right? And as the speakers come and they offer new things, softwares, new tools, it's amazing because they all go after those things, right?
Yeah, they love the tools.
Yes, and it's human nature. Actually, the brain likes novelty. So it's always attracted by what's new. A lot of people say the bright, shiny thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's normal to all of us. We like that.
It's human nature.
It's human nature. Brain likes novelty. What boggles me, on the other hand, is that you see these people really focusing on the how of everything, right? So the mechanics of everything, especially the new businesses, you know, where they should be thinking about the why and the what, right? We need to understand and be able to position our business in such a way that talks on an emotional level to people, the buyers, right? And if we only focus on tools and the how, we cannot do that.
Yeah.
Right? So it's one thing that we want to make sure in this episode today, that you think about the real transformations you need to do in your business and what are the parts that are missing.
Yes. That's crucial, actually. So because we see this a lot. I mean, we saw it in this event, like you said, but we see it all the time with businesses where they're starting out and they're basically thinking, okay, what are the different things that I can use, or the different tools, and then they just want to go deep on those things, not realizing that they're going to spend a lot of time, sometimes a lot of money,
many times,
trying to figure those things out, and
it's not about that.
It's not about that. So they'll invest so much time and energy into that, and a few months later, they're still at
the same spot,
same exact spot,
yes,
and they don't realize why that's happening.
Yeah, they might have a few more friends on social media, but the fact is that they're not getting attention.
Yeah.
So they need to think first about how they reach their audience on an emotional level.
Yep.
What's their irresistible promise to that market? You know, what's the story they are going to tell to that market?
Who is the audience exactly?
Yeah, and that's actually the main reason we talk about brain-based selling and neuromarketing. So you can understand how the mind of the consumer works and cater your business towards that, because then you know for sure that you're going to get results.
Absolutely, because then, let's say, going on with what you were saying, once you know who they are, and once you, the fact is, once you know who they are, then you know how to talk to them.
Yes.
And then when you talk to them, like Shahar said, let's do it on a more emotional level.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're really going to trigger those points, those things in that person that will cause them to, that will prompt them to maybe come talk to you, to buy from you, to further that relationship with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so then the business grows that way.
Exactly.
Whereas if you're just trying tons of different things, you're just scattering it around,
yeah, and it's not going to work. There is no reason for you to think that a software or a tool will bring everything that you need in your business if you don't have the right message, if you don't know how to get attention.
Yes.
Okay, so focus first on thinking how you're going to get attention, how you're going to talk to people on an emotional level. We told you before, 85% of all purchase decisions are made on an unconscious level by the reptilian brain, where the amygdala is also there and holding emotions and senses. We need to be talking to that part of the brain first. Okay, once you have that right, then go for everything that is new. Go for all the softwares and the tools, have fun, but then at least you know you're going to get results because you got the attention you needed.
Absolutely. Plus, then when you are using those tools, then you'll know how to use them in such a way where you'll touch them, touch the people through that tool emotionally and all that.
Exactly, and then you get real results.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we were out geocaching, and we went to a parking lot right across the street from in this parking lot right across from N. Taylor, and we went to a lamppost, which a lot of times geocaches are hidden under. And we look over, and there's this other lamppost, and there you see we found an osprey with two of her little babies. It was the cutest thing. She was giving them food, and it was really quite unique to see them there. Ospreys are very interesting in that regard, where they'll nest in weird locations, not necessarily just trees, but they'll find many times dead trees, or very high locations too, but dead trees, and sometimes lampposts and other city type of locations. So it's unique to see them there. The main thing that I noticed was in the area that we were in, there wasn't any lakes or reservoirs or anything that you would think to find them there because of that, because then it gives them easy access to food. Ospreys basically feed on about 99% of their diet are fish, and so that's very interesting too. One very unique thing about them when they are fishing is that instead of just diving in head first, which a lot of fish do, a lot of birds do, they go in with their paws. So though I can't really put it into words, but essentially they don't dive, they just go like that and get and so their head doesn't go underwater. They get it with the fish with their talons. Their talons are very interesting in the fact that they have retractable thumbs. It's only them and the owls that have that. And what it does is it allows them to grip onto that fish in a way that it basically makes it impossible for them to escape, because then they're able to hold the fish. Their talons will have two of their fingers, let's call them, in the front and two in the back, and it makes it almost impossible for the fish to leave because of those retractable toes. Also, what's very interesting, the way that they hold their fish, instead of just like holding onto the fish like this and then flying away, they position the fish like this in the same direction direction that they're going. And so it breaks the wind, and it causes a lot less resistance had they been holding the fish like this. So now they're able to fly faster and safer, and make it so that the fish can't escape, and that less resistance is essentially what I want to come across. Is in business, many times we do things in ways that, although seem like the natural thing to do, oftentimes causes a lot more hardship, makes it tougher for you to market, or for you to go against that audience, or anything like that. So look for ways in things that you do that you can, maybe it's just it's a shift in perception, it's just a shift, a different way of doing something that you're used to doing that will cause less resistance, that will allow you to go further. So look for things like that, for ways that you can do that. Maybe sometimes it's just a matter of looking at it differently, from a different angle, and saying, maybe instead of doing this how it has always been done, you hear that a lot, maybe if I just do it a little bit differently, and that'll cause me to be able to go faster and farther. So keep that in mind.
So when we are thinking about marketing to the brain, we need to market to 5 senses, right? A very important one is sense. You know why? Because the nose is the shortest pathway to the limbic system. And the limbic system only responds to smell. And in the amygdala is where you host emotions. Remember, 85% of all purchase decisions are made on an unconscious level first. Therefore, aromas are extremely important in marketing. Well, if you have a restaurant, that's not a problem, right? Any pie will do the trick for you. But there are other ways. You heard before, realtors used to bake cookies, for example, before they show a home. So you have the homey feeling once you get there. Actually, vanilla, if you use a spray with vanilla scent in your office, will facilitate negotiation, because it will decrease anxiety in people. So there are many ways to use aroma. Now, you can use that for purchases, or even to brand your company. For example, Singapore Airlines, they use a special scent to brand their company. So they do that as a perfume in all flight attendants, in their hot towels, and in many other things that they use inside the airplane. So you get in there and you know that that aroma belongs to Singapore Airlines. So that's when aroma is used for branding. No matter what you do, always be marketing to the 5 senses. Don't forget the nose though, very important.